Welcome to the Interrogation True Crime Stories podcast. All the stories told on this show are either fabricated, alleged, or didn't happen at all and shouldn't be used in the court of law. We hope. Welcome to Interrogation True Crime Stories. I'm your host, Corey David, and today we have a special guest, Kira MagCalen, everybody.
Hi.
I got the last name right?
Yeah. MagCalen.
Okay, great. Because I remember one time I almost flubbed it just because I like Kate McLaughlin, right? And I feel like they're not that close, but like, you've hosted like plenty of shows, right?
Yeah.
You know how sometimes no matter how hard you try to remember, when you try to remember,
Oh, it's so much worse.
It's when you actually fuck it up the hardest.
Yeah, I usually, whenever someone's like asking me how to pronounce my name, they always make this mistake where they're like, so it's MagCalen, not MagCalen. I'm like, don't say the just don't even say it. Why did you do that?
Because you're gonna, because now you've put that in your own brain.
So yeah, it's just MagCalen.
Okay, great. Yeah, if I didn't get it, we would have restarted anyway. So, how's the Happy 4th of July?
Happy 4th.
How's the weekend been?
It's been good. It's been a really busy month/couple of weeks. So, been doing a lot in the art world mostly.
Were you out this weekend at all? Like, are you setting up at any like local art shows? Or
yeah,
any local...
I do markets a lot. In terms of like shows, I'm going to be up at a coffee shop called Hunter Bay tomorrow, and crap, I gotta prepare for that. Anyway, but I do like the mutiny markets.
Okay,
yeah. So
if you can remind me after we're done, there's a great coffee shop right around the corner that I go to a lot. The features, I think they rotate monthly on
cool.
artists, and you can sell your stuff like right out of there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's called 2914. They're great, but I know I wanted to have you on the show specifically to talk about like all the art you're doing now. You've always been such a great artist, but it seems like we were talking about beforehand, you're pushing it a lot more these days. What's kind of prompting that? Is it just you getting over your own fear, or is it more desperation?
Yeah, a little of both, I guess. I had like the nervous breakdown that I think we all had in like 2020, and I got my like laser engraving machine, and then I was like, I have to pay this off.
How much does something like that cost?
It's like $5,000.
Oh yeah, that's an investment.
Yeah. So I was
now, what is a laser? I mean, I just because I don't know, like, what is that?
It like cuts and engraves, typically wood, but you can do like leather, fabric, paper.
Yeah, because I guess as far as I'm like, if I've ever seen any of your work, it's usually like drawing, painting, things of that nature, right?
Yeah, a lot more on the digital side, and this is like a happy medium because I can create all of it digitally.
Nice. It's a happy medium. Good.
Yeah. Nice. Just always there for puns. So I can create all my like line work digitally and then like transfer it via the laser cutter onto like wood, so it's a more natural looking piece.
Okay.
With a digital format.
So before we get too far into it, just tell people like where they can find your stuff, and then we'll obviously chat about like what the initiatives, like what you got going on, and like kind of the main stuff that you're working on right now.
Yeah. So online you can find me at Kicky Bean, Kickey Bean, Bean, on Instagram, and also kickybean.com. Those are like the main places for my stuff online. And then in Denver, I'm up at the Denver Art Society. I'm a member there, so I'll be there regardless of where else I'm rotating.
Sick.
Yeah.
And do you still do custom work too?
Yes.
Yeah. It's not just pieces that you've already created, right?
Correct.
It's a lot of custom stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you did one of my mom's, possibly my mom's favorite gift ever. So, sincerely. Like she's very much, she likes, you can't just get her flowers and chocolate. That just doesn't work for her, which
you gotta put thought into it.
Yeah. And it gets exhausting a couple times a year. But Kira had I had given her a picture of my mom and I when I was a baby, and then a picture of like her favorite picture of us as adults, like as me as an adult and her obviously still as one. She didn't become a baby. And I asked her to basically depict us as monsters, because that's typically a lot of what you do, right? Yeah. And it couldn't have turned out better, dude.
Oh, I'm so glad.
It was. She started crying. She was ecstatic about the whole thing.
That's great.
It's still hanging up in the house, right next to I made one of those grid photo frames. Yeah. With the ones right next to each other.
Yeah.
And that turned out so great.
Perfect.
Yeah. What, I guess, inspired you to get into doing the monster stuff specifically? Because that's the bulk of your work, right?
Yeah, it is the bulk of my work. I went through a really shitty time in 2018 now. Yeah, I think it's when it started. And I was just drawing them because I wasn't really able to talk about what I was going through at the time. So I was like, I'm just going to like give it a shape and a face and then talk to the monster that I'm looking at. And that's kind of why they all ended up with those like little captions with them, is because it was like through this process of like drawing them and talking to them that I like figured out what I was feeling. And then I did it a lot, and it was just like an exercise I did every morning that I've just kind of stuck with.
Well, it's a very, because it would you say, like, cause the impression that I get, it's like a very, they're cartoony in a way,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
it's not like graphic monsters or anything that would be like graphic novel-esque, like that typical like Marvel look, like monster with like big teeth and big red eyes, like scary kind of deal. Yeah, they're dopey monsters.
They're very silly looking.
They're goofy,
Yeah.
Even this, when you're like, I'm trying to be scary, it's still like art. Yeah, I think that's part of the art, is that like, this is me being scary. This is how I feel when I'm being scary. And even when you're doing that, it still seems kind of goofy.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
And I think it really helps like when you see this like goofy face on this feeling that was like such a huge deal, or like this event that you're going through that's like so big, and then you're just like looking at it and you're like, that thing can't do taxes.
Yeah,
that thing doesn't know what it's doing. So
right.
It's going to be okay.
Well, I think, it's absolutely a great representation of, no matter how angry, scary we might feel as people, like ultimately it's like you're still just your normal doofy-ish kind of self, right? Like you're just a human, right? No matter how big you try to present yourself to be.
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, did you put out a book with a lot of captions and stuff?
I just put it. It's on my website, and there's going to be a few bookstores picking it up.
Look at me teeing this up for you with minimal research.
Yeah,
it's the things that I just remember seeing. Well, I feel like, you know how everybody's algorithm is different. I feel like when you post stuff like that, which is good, that I see it. Whether those are my preferences or just that is just when you happen to post, I have no idea. Right?
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
No clue.
Yeah, I should be better at like knowing the algorithms and stuff, but mostly I just put it out there and hope.
Yeah, and I'm sure like the more you do it, like the more stuff you put out, the more time you'll probably want to spend on it, just because you just figure out like what levers you need to pull to kind of get it going more, or just get it more popular.
Yeah,
like everything else. So like, talk to me about the book. Like, what's the essence of it? How long are we talking? Like, how many pictures, how many drawings?
So it's 50 pages. It's 100 monsters. It's the first 100 that I did. It's basically just like the monster, the kind of like name of the feeling, and then a little story that goes with them, which is essentially like when I'm talking about talking to the monster, that's what I'm talking to them about, is like the little captions for them. And it's been pretty well received so far, which has been really nice. I've gotten to like teach art classes like based on the book and like crazy fun stuff like that. So
now, when you first started, did you have this feeling that it was just, these are just my feelings and clearly nobody else has these? Or did you realize later, did you realize at the time or later that I'm like, no, these are very human emotions that everybody feels, and that's why people like the art so much?
Yeah, I didn't plan on showing them to anybody ever, and they were just like on a wall in my room in this house that I lived in, and then a friend of mine came over and was like, you should show these to people. What are you doing? And then I was like, okay, I guess I'll show it to people. And then
that hard? Was that really hard for you?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was. I really thought that I was gonna get like ridiculed pretty hard for it. So
I'm just going out on a limb. Do you just feel that about most of the stuff you do in your life?
Yeah. There's definitely like a high expectation of failure for no reason at all.
Yeah, which is also an incredibly human thing, right?
Yeah.
The reason a lot of people don't try stand-up is because they are afraid of being judged, right? For something that you say.
Yeah.
And which is typically not the case. Like, I think, and it's like karaoke even. People are just so afraid of looking foolish or looking stupid, or people are like, "What? Look at this idiot! They tried to do something they enjoyed. Wow."
Yeah. I think. I mean, you get to a certain point where you just realize that like the people judging you don't have you have to have very little going on in order to judge people for a lot of things. Like if you really like vehemently have to judge somebody's karaoke skills, like what are you doing?
I just don't think those people have enough going on in their own lives, number one. And there's something that people get around that makes them feel good to almost, even if they're not talking shit, if they're judging somebody else, or let's just say they're judging somebody else with a group of people they know, and then somebody else were to say, yeah, you're right, they do that. There's like a validation that comes with being agreed with.
Yeah, I could see that. I think that's like the place for like shit talking, honestly, is like it's actually like a way to like build camaraderie with people. But like even if you are like shit talking something with a friend, that doesn't mean that your opinion means anything.
No, not at all. Yeah, but people rally behind it for some reason, and and unfortunately, because stuff like that does happen sometimes, it does hold people back. It keeps them from wanting to take a leap or do something that makes them really happy, but they're worried that it's gonna fail.
Yeah. There's worse things in life than failing, for sure.
Correct.
You just gotta hit enough rough times to be like, failing is not the worst thing I could be doing. Yeah. So
now you did the mural at Wide Right too.
I did,
right?
Yeah.
Which looks incredible.
Thank you.
It's the huge backdrop for the bar, so it's the main focal point of the entire space. Had you done something like that before?
Not really. I think I did like a mural when I was like 16 or something.
Okay.
But like not to that scale.
Did it feel a little daunting going into it then, or did you feel confident about it?
No, I think I had a pretty good grip on what I was going to do. Like surprisingly so.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Sometimes when something feels like it's going to be like on the surface, it seems like a tall order, but then you just it's for one reason or another. You're like, oh no, I can handle that.
It's like I paint every day of my life. This is just like a larger scale of that. And like scaling up, you don't have to worry about your details getting smushed. So it's just like, oh, this is going to be way easier. I did not realize how physically taxing it was going to be, for sure.
How long did it take?
3 days, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
And just like a lot of like up and down and going up and down ladders and stuff. And I just like did not process how much of a workout that was going to be.
For sure. Now, when you're thinking about what monsters you want to draw, like just the mural maybe, but like I guess it just pertains to any of them. Where does it start? Like, do you have ones that you just casually sketch and then you attach it to a feeling later? Or is it something that really, the feeling really drives the overall shape and picture of the monsters?
It varies. I would say that depends on the day and like if I have something like specific because I do this every day. Mm-hmm. So like if it's a day that I'm like really struggling with something and trying to work through it, the feeling will come first. And then I might draw a few different sketches before I like kind of see the creature itself and like actually dig in and like get to know what it looks like. Whereas if I'm having like a maybe less emotionally volatile day, and I'll just start like kind of squiggling out like, oh, I was watching something about barn owls yesterday, so this one's gonna look kind of like a barn owl.
Yeah, it's inspired by.
Yeah, so it really depends. There's not like a set ritual for it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What other way, like, so now that you're kind of taking this more, not seriously, but more like your livelihood, right?
Yeah,
like as a career, what does that look like in terms of what types of work are you trying to sell? Where, like, if somebody wanted to work with you to get something done, like what does that portfolio kind of look like, in terms of, is it just drawings? Is it?
I can do a lot.
Yeah, so I'm curious,
really,
because you bought a laser machine, for God's sakes.
I can do.
That was the most crude way to say that, by the way. You bought a laser machine.
Oh, I love telling people I have a laser. It makes me feel like a supervillain. Yeah. Just being like, come to my house, I have a laser. It was all
fun and games until you crossed me.
Yeah. It's in my lair, actually. It's not even in an art studio or anything. That's such a hard question to answer because I have a pretty wide breadth of what I'm capable of doing, and I think art is really a lot about problem solving in general. So if someone gives me a weird request and I think I can problem solve doing it, I'll be like pretty upfront, like I've never done that before, but I can figure it out. So like a lot of like graphic design stuff I would say is more what I get hit up for commission wise.
Okay.
A lot of monster portraits I think I get a lot of too. But in terms of like what I can make, it's just like such a wide variety.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah.
And if anybody wants to hit you up for inquiries, is the best way to do that Instagram?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'll have you plug that at the end too.
Cool.
In case people forgot. So, you want to talk about some dumb crimes I found on the internet this
Yeah,
week?
let's do it.
Sweet. All right. So this one near and dear to my heart because I have I have a niece and a nephew, and I think these are so stupid. Gender reveal party sparks British Columbia brush fire. Any first thoughts?
Again? Just
How is it? Yeah. How does it keep happening?
Yeah. Like it almost seems like you need a license for a gender reveal party at this point. Like it should be less controversial to regulate those.
There has to be a permit process.
You would think so.
Yeah, but I mean, it's 4th of July weekend. Do you think everybody that's been lighting off fireworks has a permit?
That's the whole thing of like getting illegal fireworks is like part of 4th of July. But like, what roadside stand are you going to get illegal fireworks for your gender reveal party?
Ones that specifically sell pink and blue.
Yeah. Just they're just like it wasn't red enough for 4th of July, so we have pink ones.
Or I mean, is non-gendered from the start purple? Would that be like, all right, hey everybody, big surprise, we goofed you. We're not gonna pick the gender.
Yeah, we're actually gonna let the child. Yeah, we're gonna let our kiddo develop and like figure it out themselves.
So we wound up with purple.
Yeah, just gray smoke.
But funny, that would be hilarious. And because like the way the reveal is supposed to work is that the parents aren't supposed to know either, right?
Right.
So what if it just came out purple? Like, and nobody knew, and that was a sign that they're like, oh, we weren't supposed to pick. Like, we weren't supposed to have one.
The child might end up being some sort of, like, queer prophet.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
It's like my gender reveal party stopped gender reveals.
Yeah.
So
definitely more of a Jesus.
Yeah.
Have you been to a gender reveal party?
I have not.
Okay. I mean, I've been to the ones like I went to the one for my niece. I did not feel the need to go back for.
Didn't need a second.
No, and I was really hoping they'd use a piñata. Like I do a bit about that.
Oh yeah.
Because I just think that would be the most accurate representation of the actual birth.
Right? Just beating the baby out of somebody.
Well, no, you hit the piñata, right? And then whatever color comes out, everybody's very happy, very excited, and the piñata never looks the same, is the joke.
Okay.
Because the mom's the piñata.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got
in
that.
the joke.
Yeah. I like the idea of just beating the gender out of somebody.
Yeah. Tell us.
Yeah. It's like, what are you?
Yeah, beat the child. The child's already born.
Yeah.
Like, but you have to tell us. We didn't give it to you at birth, so we're just gonna force this on you.
Just immediately.
Yeah. With the fireworks starting up, I'm shocked that what I'm curious about is what started, the Canada wildfires that have been like plaguing the entire country?
Oh my God.
Would this be what started the whole thing?
Probably.
Because I was pissed, man. Like, I feel like we had a really good winter in terms of snowpack.
Yeah.
It rained all of May.
Yeah, I think it was like the rainiest June in like 150 years.
I'm like, we're good.
Yeah.
And then I woke up one day and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah. I thought I was like having an allergy attack, and then someone's just like, "Oh no, it's smoke. It's just coming down." It's like, damn it.
Are you from Colorado originally?
Not originally, but I've been here most of my life.
Okay, because I've been here for coming up on 5 years now, and it's a new phenomena to me. Like I never dealt with that, and then also new concept. You also have to deal with everybody else's wildfires.
Yeah. I feel like dealing with fires from people in other states has been like, within the past couple years, a new thing.
Yeah, dealing with everybody else's stuff.
Yeah.
What if the smoke was blue? They're like, Canada's a boy. Just came out after all this time.
Yeah. It's like, you didn't guess that, but
yeah, we knew the maple leaf was red, but yeah, kind of pink. But all right, we'll move on to the next one. I just gotta write them down really quick. Boom, boom. Great. All right. Next one. Woman who sent 1,600 text messages to a man broke into his home after one single date. Any first thoughts?
Who counted the text messages?
The FBI.
Yeah. Like, were they all like? I'm just like imagining that person's like. How fast of a texter is she? Like, what is the length of these?
She's got to
messages?
spend a lot of time texting.
Yeah.
This is one of those people that a phone call is a burden, right? So
yeah.
it's all text messages. But with text, are you you're going to put everything that you're going to text the person just in one text message, even if it's a little lengthy, or do you break it all up?
I think it depends on how it feels. Like, if I feel like there needs to be like a breath, or it's like the part of the comedy set where somebody says the other day, you like need that pause in there.
Yeah.
Like, then I'll send it in a couple. I like pregnant pauses in my text messages sometimes.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like if it's serious, you're like a condolences one.
Yeah.
You don't break that up with 5.
Yeah, probably not.
No, it's like, hey, we got plans, or I got to catch up with you about something,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But 160,000 is in 10 months, though.
Oh, okay. I was really thinking it was like over like some weird.
But
math of,
even
like, a week.
still,
Yeah.
like even still, that is over 10,000 text messages a month. That's like right around 12,000 texts a month.
Yeah, that's.
You got to be doing talk to text.
Yeah, you'd have to.
She wouldn't have fingers.
Yeah, just little nubs. Just little tiny little like.
Just punching
Yeah.
the phone casually.
Yeah, they started out really eloquent. Towards the end, it was just letters and poop emojis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Just communicate with image.
Yeah,
Like hieroglyphics.
I mean that's where we're going.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
It all comes back around.
Yeah.
So apparently she met this guy on a millionaire dating site. Okay, so we're getting a little bit more information. And then broke into his home after a date because he wasn't responding. What I'm wondering is, was it 160,000 unanswered? Or was it like the
Yeah.
last 5?
I mean, so this is like. So wait, when did she break into his home?
So Arizona woman allegedly sent blah, blah, blah. They went a single date, blah, blah, blah. Jacqueline Edis was found mentally incompetent to stand trial in March. So
Sure.
she's got that going for her. And let me see. It doesn't seem like there's a direct... there wasn't a direct timeline.
Because like, where in that process of like the 160,000 texts do you get to like breaking in?
Yeah, so although the man all this in June, she sparked outside of the house, blah blah blah. Sorry, I'm not seeing any like direct correlation on timing. They might have left that out on purpose.
Yeah.
Some of the text messages are kind of strange. She sent him threatening text messages, including one that read, "I make sushi out of your kidneys and chopsticks out of your hand bones."
Wow.
And then another one read, "Oh, what I would love to do with your blood. I want to bathe in it."
That's different.
I hope those were the first couple.
Yeah.
And just set the tone.
Just like, you didn't respond to me. Like, I'm going to turn you into a sushi platter. Do you think she was eating sushi like when she like came up with that? Like,
Yeah.
where does,
Yeah. 'Cause she's like, I'm pretty sure she had a thought, it would make this taste better.
Yeah, if it was made of people.
Yeah.
Just-
Or instead of soy, you're just using blood.
Yeah.
More iron.
Yeah, she was actually like completely strict vegetarian before all this, and then she met this guy and she's just like, I'm gonna eat your kidneys.
So have you, even in a dire situation, like Donner Party style, would you ever eat a person?
Yes.
Yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
Like, no brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, but would you kill somebody to eat, or would you wait until they were dead? We're talking months in.
Yeah.
You are starving.
I would hope I would have the rationale to like talk about consent with the person I'm gonna eat.
Just talk about it first.
Yeah.
Hash it out.
Just
So you
be
wouldn't
like,
kill him. You would just be like, hey, let's lop off an arm.
Like that would sort of be the negotiations. Like, do you think it would be better if we just ate your arm right now? Would you rather just be dead? Because I also understand maybe I don't want to watch my body slowly be whittled away by the person eating me.
I also appreciate that even at your worst, when you're about to die, consent is very important.
Yeah. I think so. If you're going to do like the least human thing possible, you should do it in the most humane way possible.
I agree. You're just like, let's be civil about this.
I would be a terrible serial killer just running around like, sorry, as I'm trying to stab people.
Yeah, that's your hallmark. You're just incredibly apologetic.
Yeah.
You wrote like a sorry note to everybody that you did it to.
Like cleaned up houses of my crime scenes, not to like not leave evidence, but just to not impose on anybody.
Yeah. Just like, I just didn't want to be a bother.
Yeah.
Like you clean up the crime scene incredibly well.
Yeah.
Because you're like, somebody else is going to have to buy this house afterward.
Yeah. Leave some sage or something so they can like smudge it out.
Yeah. So I'm just getting the feeling that it sounds like she was like stalking the guy. So for 10 months this happened. But at a certain point, why wouldn't you block her? Maybe you tried?
I always wonder that. Yeah, maybe she had other numbers. People can get creative when they're trying to reach you and you don't want to be reached.
Yeah, desperation is a fucking terrible thing.
Yeah.
It makes people do really stupid shit.
But also the mother of invention, so...
Yeah, when you feel like you're at the end of your rope, you're just like, I gotta make this shit work.
Yeah. It's like, somehow...
I gotta marry a millionaire.
Yeah. And only this one that clearly doesn't have interest in me.
Yeah, I mean, because you feel for the woman. If she has psychological problems, like, that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you're on a dating app. Like, it's not... There's some culpability to this, like, a little bit. Like,
sure.
Her intentions weren't necessarily the best.
Well, I don't think anyone's intentions are like great when you're like, I'm going to eat your kidneys as sushi with your bones as chopsticks.
Huge turn on for some people. There's
Yeah.
enough serial killer documentaries out these days that is definitely a kink. They're like, ooh, you would eat my toes?
It's so intimate. Yeah.
I want you to be inside of me in multiple ways.
We'll be with each other to the very end.
Correct.
The end being my colon.
Oh, damn. Oh, God.
Yeah. Sorry. I said it. I was like, it's going to be funny. And then I said it. And I was like, I didn't need to do that.
It was funny. I was just still looking for a timeline in the article. That's why I went, That's hilarious. All right, that's going to do it for our dumb crimes of the week. So I always tell people you can tell us any story about a crime you committed, witnessed, anything where the cops were involved. It doesn't have to be overly incriminating. So what did you bring for us today?
So I brought the reason why I can never go back to Wyoming.
The whole state?
The whole state. This is very stupid, but very typical of the types of crimes that I think I end up involved with. Mm-hmm. So I was driving back with 3 other comics from a festival, and festival in California, so it's a very long drive. And we're going back, and it's been tense the whole time. It's been a lot of debate and stuff, and everyone's kind of at the end of their rope.
Oh, because, I mean, how long had you been on the road at that point?
Oh, God. It was probably the second day of, like, being in the car.
Oh, okay.
But it's, like, the second day of being in a car after being at this, like, festival that you're just, like, aggressively partying at.
Right, and you drove out there. So we're talking about, like, a week in total around there, that you're spending a lot of time with these people. And a lot of time in the car.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we slept in a camper van, like, when we got out to the festival. Mm-hmm. So it was just, like... a lot of closed quarters.
Yeah.
So we're driving back through Wyoming. Most of us are asleep except for the driver, who is speeding, which is understandable because it's Wyoming, and why wouldn't you? Like, you just
you want to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Yeah. That was the move. And then the cops pull the car over. We all kind of like wake up. The cop comes out and is like, do you know how fast you were going? He's just like, I don't know. He's just like, he was for sure speeding, like probably like 100 some odd in whatever zone.
But you don't confess to it.
Yeah.
You're just like, no, you tell me how fast
like,
I was going.
Yeah. So this cop makes us all get out all of our IDs, everyone in the car. And he takes all of our IDs, and then he takes the driver into the cop car with him while he runs them all. And we're just sitting in the car, like, watching this cop talk to our friend and just being like, what do you think is happening in there?
Because being in the back of the cop car is never have you ever been in a cop car? Like
once, which is a different
totally fine. You don't even have to. You don't have to share that one if you don't want to.
Yeah.
But it's not great. I remember I tried to see if I could, because I wasn't like under arrest. I just had to wait for somebody to come pick up the car that I was driving because I didn't have insurance at the time. And I was like, "Can I sit up front?" He was like, "Absolutely not."
Yeah, yeah. They definitely make you wait back in the cage. And I'm getting like very pissed because this is also happening on my birthday.
No. Yes. So you're already like angry on your birthday. You're uncomfortable. You're irritable.
I'm very hot. I'm very annoyed. I was woken up from sleep. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Yeah.
This is how you woke up.
Yeah, I woke up because we got pulled over.
That's a terrible feeling. Like you literally are slowly opening your eyes and you just see like red and blue flashing lights and the car's not moving. You're like, you probably thought you were in a dream still.
Yeah, I was like, this isn't real. This is leftover drug trips or something. I don't know. So the cop comes back, gives our friend a speeding ticket, and then gives everyone else in the car a seatbelt ticket because he's just like, none of you were wearing your seatbelt. And I was in the front seat, and I was just like, I for sure was wearing my seatbelt. I took it off to get my license out of my backpack for you because you asked for it. And I know I had my seatbelt on because it was one of those cars that has like the sensor. Mm-hmm. So it'll just like go off. And that was another reason like tensions were like kind of high on this trip, is because someone would forget to put their seatbelt on and the car would freak out and we'd all be like, what the fuck are you doing?
Like, put the fucking thing on.
Yeah, it's just like, it's not that hard. So I was just like, I know I had my seatbelt on, and this cop was just like, well, you can come back to Wyoming and fight this ticket in court. And I was like, my like level of like white girl on my birthday privilege got so fucking high. I was just like, do you know who you're talking to? And then as soon as I'm like escalating, like ready to start like berating this cop, it hits me. We have so many drugs in the car.
Oh no.
And I was like, I can't pick this fight.
Not the time to be instigating.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta just be like, great. And he wished me a happy birthday, the fucking asshole. Like,
hey, but just by the way, here's a ticket. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
You can unwrap it whenever you want to.
You can come back to Wyoming in like a couple months and then fight this ticket.
Quick, blow out the joint. It's her birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
Make a wish, Kara.
This is exactly what I wanted. And then, so we all go back.
Stripper cop on your birthday.
Yeah. Without the stripping, just
would have been
stripped of some dignity.
The best prank in the entire world is if they got you a stripper cop that pulled you over in Wyoming.
That would be amazing. I would have probably done the drugs that were in the car.
Yeah.
At that point.
Nobody's around. Call the boys.
Yeah. I think that this could be a good marketing project for Wyoming, is just to have a stripper detail that goes out and just like makes people's trip through Wyoming better.
Private investigators, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I'm done.
Nice. But so the end of the story, so I didn't go back to Wyoming.
Of course.
Because, just obviously not. And then I like found out later that there was like because I didn't show up to court, there's like a bench warrant out for me in Wyoming.
Okay, so good reasons not to go back.
Yeah, so if I ever got pulled over again in Wyoming, I'd potentially get arrested. So I like can't go back to that state.
Just got to skip the whole state.
Just got to skip around it. If I ever want to go anywhere, like I got to go around Wyoming to get to like Montana or whatever if I ever wanted to go up there.
Well, I mean, not a lot of reasons to go back there anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so it's not like you're missing out on a whole lot.
Yeah, I didn't pick a cool state to get banned from.
Yeah, but I mean, to get kicked, I've been kicked out of bars before. Getting kicked out of an entire state's pretty rad.
Thanks. Really, on my birthday too.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy belated.
Thank you.
Before we get out of here, just one more time, just tell everybody where they can find your stuff. And if you are watching or listening to this show, Kira does amazing work. So if you do want to get something commissioned, get something custom made, please do it. It's all really, really well done.
Thank you. Yeah. And again, my Instagram is KickeyBean. That's KickeyBean.
Tight. All right. Well, thanks for checking out the show. If this is your first time, like, review, subscribe, do all that stuff. Go to the YouTube channel and follow that. And then for upcoming tour dates, go to CoreyDavid.com. Bandit Oak Brewing is still going strong. Late night comedies every second and fourth Friday of the month. And we don't have an interrogation on the books right now until we do the live taping for it in Houston, Texas on August 19th at the Secret Group. You can grab tickets for that at my website as well. And that one's going to be a pretty big deal. We're going to try to sell out both shows. We've got a whole production crew coming there to film it. And I'm pretty excited. So.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh, yeah. It'll be dope. Well, hey, thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.